Today I want to talk to you about one of the reasons why some folks have decided that they're just not sure about coming to the Free the Dream Conference on September 7th, 8th, and 9th in Franklin, Tennessee. And one of those common reasons that people have told me is like, I've attended so many events and I've been trying to pursue this path for so long, and I'm just not taking advantage of all the things I already know. I've attended seminar after seminar, workshop after workshop. I've purchased online course after online course. And quite frankly, I've been at this for years and I just don't see it moving the needle. So why would I buy a ticket to Free the Dream Conference, another event, if I'm just afraid that I'm just not going to do anything with the investment that I'll make there? I want to read to you an email that I just received from a very dear friend of mine, somebody who's been in my community for an extremely long period of time. I'm going to withhold this person's name completely. I did not ask for permission to share what is in this email. They're on vacation and I didn't want to bother them, and so therefore I'm creating this video without any reference to who they are. What happened is I realized that this person who is always in my community, always commenting, always saying, "Cliff, man, I'm so inspired by what you're sharing." This person is probably one of the top 10, if not the top 15 people in my community when it comes to people who are always engaged, always sharing a word of appreciation and also acknowledgement of how the content that I'm creating is positively impacting their life. So I sent one of my personal video messages to this individual. I fired up my video recorder and I said, "Hey, insert name here. I've seen you commenting on all the stuff and I know you know about the Free the Dream Conference, and quite frankly, I can't understand for the life of me why I haven't seen a ticket purchase come in from you. I thought for sure when I announced the Free the Dream Conference, one of the first people who would have lined up to buy a ticket would have been you." I gotta ask, why haven't you bought a ticket yet? What is it going to take for me to get you to come to Free the Dream Conference? And that was my personal video message to this individual, and I got this response, and I'm gonna read it to you. "Wow, I can't thank you enough for the personal message. In fact, I've been paralyzed when it comes to drafting this reply. My apologies for the lateness in responding. By replying, I have to confront the reasons myself why I have not purchased my ticket already. I've checked on flights, hotel pricing, etc. Money is not the reason. Time is a bit of the reason, but I'm willing to make it happen. The biggest reason is fear. But what of? I'm not sure. Since 2013, when I happened to download my first podcast and listen to John Lee Dumas interview Pat Flynn, I've longed to create a business that would fully support my family and let me live my fullest life. The desire of my heart is to build a creative business that nourishes my soul, inspires others, and creates financial abundance. What's my problem, right? I've even attended one of so-and-so's. I'm removing names, so when you hear me say so-and-so, I've just removed names and specifics. I even attended one of so-and-so's events in 2014 to surround myself with others who share the same goals and desires. Sitting in front of me that day were so-and-so and so-and-so, and boy, have they succeeded. I guess I'm afraid to make another investment and still not move forward and make it happen, just to see others pass me right on by. So what is stopping me from making it happen? That, I feel, is buried deep inside of me and hasn't yet risen to the surface to be put into words yet. I can make excuses because that's what they would really be. I know that if I really want something bad enough, I can make it happen. I've dabbled since 2013 with niche sites, blogs, etc., but not really found my place in all of this. I simply have not really made any amount of money that would make a difference. The other big factor is that I'm coming up to 20 years with my current employer and I feel that this season of my life is finished and I'm ready to move to the next one, but I don't know what it is. You inspire me so much on a daily basis. I can't thank you enough for putting yourself out there and being 100% transparent and honest and sharing it with the world. I'm leaving tomorrow for vacation spot. I hope to rest, reflect, and make a decision before I return. There you have it. In probably more words than you wanted. Not true. I am thrilled with the words that you shared. With sincerest appreciation and gratitude, name removed. P.S. I'm going to listen to The Big Leap again on my vacation. This email represents a very large percentage of my community. The concern is that I've been wanting to do this for years. I have a dream, my desire. How many of you out there resonate with this? Where is it at? The desire of my heart is to build a creative business that nourishes my soul, inspires others, and creates financial abundance. How many of you resonate with that? And how many of you have been dabbling in this since 2013 and you haven't made any progress yet? How many of you have bought online course after online course, workshop after workshop that you've attended, seminar after seminar, conference after conference, and you just seem to be stuck? You're not even sure what your big dream is, where you fit into this online business world. And by the way, this conference isn't just for those who are in online business and on that journey, but this person and so many other people have that desire. And I know for a fact that Free the Dream will unlock the missing piece to the puzzle. I can say that with full confidence. And for those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that I'm an authentic, transparent guy who tells you the truth. All right? And I believe it with full confidence that this conference is the missing piece to the puzzle. How can I say that with such boldness? How can I say that with a straight face? When quite frankly, I'm surrounded by my peers who are beyond where I am in life and in business in so many areas, and they each have their own conferences that teach amazingly awesome things that, quite frankly, tell you all the step-by-step pieces, the frameworks that teach you everything you need to know to succeed in business. How is it that I can tell you that my conference, it's my event that's going to unlock the piece to the puzzle that you're missing? It's because, well, quite frankly, it's not the step-by-step. It's not what you need to do. It's not a lack of knowledge for what you need to do next. It's a BS problem. And by BS problem, I mean a belief system problem. It's all up here. It's what we believe that's holding us back. You see, this individual went to an event in 2014 and they sat right behind so-and-so and so-and-so. And so-and-so and so-and-so attended that same event and took what they learned and they freaking rocked the world with what they're doing. And I know who so-and-so and so-and-so are. And yeah, they sure have succeeded. So what sets this person apart from so-and-so and so-and-so? It's not the lack of information, because they both actually were given the same insights at that event. What's the difference is what so-and-so and so-and-so believe about who they are and what they're able to achieve in this world. What sets so-and-so and so-and-so apart from anyone else is the fact that, well, quite frankly, they have a different belief system that drives and motivates them to take action. You see, oftentimes all the time, what holds us back from living the life of our dreams is what we believe. It's the story we're telling ourselves. And quite frankly, most of it we're unaware of. It's unconscious, the things that we believe that are actually driving our actions. And at Free the Dream Conference, I'm going to be sharing myself personally at least 6 different talks. And my first talk opening the conference is going to be all about this BS problem that we have, the belief system, the fact that unconsciously, unaware, we've just throughout our life picked up and adopted other people's beliefs. Things that people have said or illustrated or demonstrated to us, we've respected them and said, okay, that's how the world is. And we have adopted that. We've believed it, especially those of us from a faith background. Oh my gosh, there's so much that's holding us back. They're called limiting beliefs. And at the Free the Dream Conference, I'm absolutely convinced. I am absolutely convinced that you will be able to identify, finally, What limiting beliefs are holding you back from achieving the success of so-and-so and so-and-so? Not that you're trying to become so-and-so and so-and-so, but achieving your own version of that success in your own life. And the fact is that we all have this dream. We all have this pursuit of something that we know that we're called to do. That there's something more to life that we're meant to experience. And what's holding us back is the story that we're telling ourselves in our own mind. And oftentimes we're not even aware that we're using the words to the story that we're telling ourselves. I identify with so much of what's in this message. I really do. I told my story. You guys know my story. Many of you know my story. From 2008 through most of 2009, I struggled like nobody else. I'm like, seriously, I worked around the clock in 2008 and I made $11,000 personal income. That was it. It was the most difficult time of my life. But yet I still made things happen, right? And a lot of that had to do with my belief system. I had a belief system that supported so much of that endurance, working hard, pushing through. I'm not going to ever go back to the old way of life. And so that served me well. But I had so many belief system issues that actually held me back from charging the right amount of money to be able to be financially able to have a responsible business. It was one thing to have what the CPA called a profitable business. My business paid enough to pay all the overhead and all the other stuff. But I didn't have the mindset that would allow me to have a wildly profitable business. One that not only paid for its own expenses, but paid for all of my financial needs for myself and my family. And I certainly didn't in 2008 have the mindset and the belief system that would support me making well beyond what we needed to survive. It took me years before I finally came across the information and the education on how to discover what my belief system is, where those beliefs came from, how I can change them in an instant, and you can. And that's what I'm teaching at Free the Dream. And I know this because I went to Tony Robbins' event, Unleash the Power Within, in June of 2016, and my life changed in an instant. Instantly, inside, my belief system was completely changed, completely altered. And if you've been following my journey since 2016, you see how radically my life has changed since then. How absolutely radically and profoundly my life has changed since that one weekend event. And it all started right there. And I believe that I know that the Free the Dream Conference is going to be that catalyst for you. I just got back from Podcast Movement 2018. I had conversations with at least 50 different people there. And those conversations, in every one of them, I wasn't trying to sell anybody a Free the Dream ticket, although if they asked, I would certainly be open to the conversation. But instead I said, hey, tell me, what are you most excited about? What are you working on? Tell me about what you got going on. What brings you here? And then I asked them another question. I said, so where do you see this leading you? What do you hope that this will do for you over the next 5 to 10 years? And then I asked them another question. Hey, in 10 to 20 years from now, what do you think your life will look like? And some of them had a hard time dreaming about the future. They're like, oh, I'd never really given it much thought. And I'm like, well, do you have some time now? I've got some time. Let's dream about your future. And they started dreaming. They started like, well, I'd love my life to look like this. And I like, what kind of work would you like? I'd like to do this kind of work. What kind of vacations would you like? I would like this. How many hours a week would you like to? I'd like to limit it to this. How much time would you like to spend with your family? I'd like to do this. What would you like to do with them? How much money would you like to make? And it's like all of a sudden, dream's over. And then I had to help them get over a little speed bump. And we had to discover some limiting beliefs about money, and then all of a sudden, once we were able to immediately uncover a limiting belief, and by the way, I didn't change their limiting belief. All I did was ask them some questions. They discovered how crazy and insane and how stupidly incorrect that limiting belief was, and those are their words. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, so now, how much money do you want to make in 20 years from now? And I'm like, okay, and now they're dreaming again. And I said, okay, what are you doing today that's leading you to that picture? And they're like, oh, well, I guess, and it's like, well, what would you do today if you knew that that's where you're going and that's your goal and there's no other option other than to live that life that for which you believe you're created to live? What would you do today? What would you do different? And so I asked this one person, and I actually asked a lot of people this question, when do you think that you could leave the day job? And everybody gave like 5 to 7 years, 3 to 5 years, and it just the number of years was all over the place, but it was never next year. It was never within 2 years. It was always many years down the road. And I asked this question, how much money do you need to make to be able to leave the day job? Like comfortably, what do you need? And that number was different for every person. I had some people tell me I need to make $25,000 a month in my business. I'm like, that's easy. Have you ever thought about doing this? And they're like, what do you mean that's easy? And I'm like, seriously, that's easy. And I asked them a series of questions and they're like, I guess it is easy. And then for some people, it was $13,000 a month. Some people, it was $7,000 a month. And I talked to one person, it was $3,000 a month. So the numbers of what it would take to be able to escape the day job and go pursue this career and live the dream that they have way out in their future, I was able, in a 10, 15-minute conversation, in most cases, help people take something that they believed was going to take many years to achieve, and they're going to achieve it by the end of this year. As a result of just me asking them a few questions, helping them discover some limiting beliefs, eliminating them on the spot, and then asking them, what do you already know without me telling you what to do? What do you already know that you need to do that you've been putting off? And they go and do it. I want to give you an example of somebody who came to me one day at Podcast Movement, the next day after I had a conversation with them. Now, again, I'm not going to give you the details of exactly who was this. This is Mark Bologna. Mark Bologna and I talked. I'm not going to tell you what his numbers were, what his dreams are, or anything like that. But he came up to me so excited the very next day to tell me a story as a result of a conversation. And I want to play this video testimonial that he recorded for me while we were at Podcast Movement. What's the last name, Mark?
Bologna.
All right, so last night we had a conversation, and what came up in conversation?
Yeah, so you and I were talking in the hallway, and you said, what's your number, what would it take? You divided that, and you said you need X number of people to pay $1,000 a month, recurring, right?
Yeah.
And I said, yes. You said, do you think you can do it? I said, yeah, okay. And I wasn't really confident. I went back to the room, I looked at what I had been doing, what I had been offering. I reached out to someone I had been talking to, bit my tongue, sent them a note and said, $1,000 a month, I will help you solve the problem, launch your podcast. I didn't read it too much, I hit send, I was scared to death. I woke up this morning, she wrote back and said, I'm in, I'll do it.
I'm in, I'll do it. Oh, see and how did you feel?
Scared to death. I'm still nervous telling you about it right now.
Right, and so you're like freaked out, but you moved forward through the fear. I told you, don't let that stop you. You sent the email, and the first person you approached said yes.
I sent a text, not even an email. It wasn't formatted.
There you
Someone
go.
that I've been talking to, trying to help, right?
Yep.
I have authority. I've done the work. I know what I'm doing, but I didn't really believe it.
Yep.
I almost said, how about $250? But I
yeah.
said 1,000.
Yeah. And guess what? If you would have said $250, what would she have said?
Of course
she would say yes. Had the person paid you $250 a month, and that's what you had said,
sure,
you would have served that person, and you would have poured a lot of effort and energy,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How much more are you going to pour into serving this person at $1,000 per month?
A ton, because I'm so motivated, right? I want to deliver value and make sure they get a lot out of it. Gosh, I'm just like so excited to help them, and then to be able to help more people through that. Because now I don't need to find 4 more people to equal that. So I want to make sure I do a great job for them.
How cool is that?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Feels great, doesn't it?
It does.
There you go, my friends. Oh my gosh, I can't begin. This is why I go to conferences. Not so that I can speak and impress people with talks and all that other stuff. It's so that I can have conversations and help people, first of all, discover what their dreams are, and then ask them what are they doing currently, right now, to pursue that dream, and then discover what some of their limiting beliefs are, help them on the spot to completely eliminate them, and then go take action. Actions that, quite frankly, may scare you. But you're going to face the fear. You're going to turn that fear into excitement, turn it into action, and you're going to go do things that will quadruple your income, that will get you your results 4 times faster. So let's just say your goal is to leave your day job within 4 years. Could you leave it in 1 year? Absolutely, it's possible. All that's holding you back is what's up here. It's not the information, the step-by-step process of how to build your business. It's not even finding the right business. That's inside of you. The reality is that you're afraid to allow your true, authentic dream of what you want to do in this world to come out, because if it came out, it would mean that you would need to fight against all the things that you believe. And that's what Free the Dream is about. It's about freeing the dream inside of you. This is an event that's going to teach you why you're not doing all the things you already know how to do. This is why I'm so excited about having you come to Free the Dream Conference. Reserve your seat today and move beyond what's been holding you back. I look forward to seeing you in Franklin, Tennessee.